Hey everyone, Andre Chen with the Real Estate Hustle podcast with another great episode. Today we've got a really special guest. We've got Emily Schuurmans, one of the youngest, most successful realtors I've ever come across. Emily, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Andre, for having me, and thank you for doing this. I've been watching a few of the podcasts, and it's great to get little tidbits out of all these realtors that you've been interviewing. It's great to see, and I'm glad that I'm able to be on it, and hopefully give some tidbits to other people.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And so, Emily, tell us a bit about, where you are in your business today. I know you've only been in the business for 2 years. You're going into your third year next year, and your success is already so incredible. But tell everyone listening a bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm pretty young, but driven and eager. I find that you can be as young as you want and you can be successful. And that's kind of my goal. I want to be able to retire early and not retire from work, but be able to do exactly what I want to do and help other people achieve that as well. I started real estate in February of 2018. It was kind of an interesting way of why I went into real estate. I went into real estate because I saw what my dad was kind of doing with buying farms. I could see his wealth grow exponentially over the years. And then when I was 18, in 2015 there, I purchased my first investment. I bought it in a small town. It was pretty cool. I just wrote a piece of paper and I wrote my offer and I gave it to the homeowner and he's like, yeah, we'll accept the deal. And we went over to the lawyers. It's a little bit different now, but that was an exciting one. It was one that I actually had to completely gut and redo, and I've been renting it ever since. And that was kind of the spark. Then I went to university for business because I knew I needed to get some education before I venture off. I knew I wanted to always be an entrepreneur and be my own boss. That was the biggest thing. Then I was working at Mercedes part-time in school, just doing at the front desk. And I asked my manager, if I quit university and become a sales rep, will you hire me? And this was the best piece of advice from him. And I'm so glad he said no. He said, no, finish school because you need to do that. And he's like, after I will definitely hire you on. Uh, just after that, I quit university, went down to, did Conestoga College instead, because instead of doing 4 years, I could finish in 2 years. And at the same time, I went to get my real estate license. It was the best thing for me. I loved Conestoga College. It was great. I learned so much from my teachers, and I'm still in contact with some of them. And I got my license, and then February 2018, I started. And ever since then, it's been amazing. Always learning, always growing, and always trying to become a better person and a better agent. One of my big whys and my big goals is to help other people grow wealth. And I can see that real estate is one of the ones that's one of the safest and one of the ones that you can actually become wealthy. And it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. And you can talk to anyone. You can do it. A lot of people say no, you can't, but you can. There's always a way. You just need to start talking and have the hustle and do it.
Well, and Emily, thank you for sharing. That's so incredible. So let me see if I got this right. You got your first investment in 2015, and I think
Yeah.
you said you were 18.
Yeah. I just turned 18. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought I'm gonna go get a rental property.
Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting because like at that I was like, I had a bunch of cash because I had started a business with a friend of mine where we bought and sold dirt bikes and ATVs off Kijiji. We made so much money in one summer that I was like, well, what's the next biggest purchase? It's,
Wow.
yeah, and a great opportunity came up in my town of Floridale. So just jumped on it. It was
What
definitely interesting.
I listen to that, and I mean, I don't know very many people that's starting a business in their teenage years so they can buy a property. Like that's absolutely incredible, and I've never heard that story before. So thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that.
yeah,
That's incredible.
that's how I bought it. Yeah, it was. I mean, I bought the house for 167,000, so it was a lot cheaper. But then what I ended up doing was spending about 150,000 into it. So I've just over 300,000 into it. The house is now worth probably around 600,000 to 700,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And it's funny because a lot of realtors don't even own their own house, and here
Yeah.
you are at 18, hustling, doing your thing, selling dirt bikes of everything else, and making enough money that you can rent a place, buy a place, and that's wow, that's incredible. So we talk about productivity and sort of that hustle that you're at. You're doing some incredible things this year. Where's your sort of production level at? How much have you sold? What's your volume? What's your GCI?
Yeah, for sure. So this year for 2020, it was a great year for me. COVID actually was a great thing. I was very busy. It seemed that there was other people that were sleeping, and then everyone came to me type thing. Yeah, so my GCI right now is about 360,000 for the year. I already have, I believe, four transactions already for 2021, and I'm at 35 units. So I've sold 35 homes. I'm at 60-40% right now. 60% is buys, 40% are lists. However, I would like to kind of reverse that and do it the other way around, because I mean, I love my buyers, but I also love the listings. It's a hustle for sure. It's a lot. It's busy, and as you know, it's a seller's market here. So I love the listings and being able to work with multiple agents at a time.
So are those people calling you, or how are you finding 35 people to do business with? But and I
Yeah,
don't mean to use the age thing, but I am gonna a little bit, right? I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure that 35 of your friends at the age group that you're in aren't buying houses right now. So how are you finding all your business?
Yeah, so that's actually interesting. So a lot of people, and I speak to them, and they say, "Well, you're young. Everyone your age is buying a house right now." So actually, only four people that I've actually known that are kind of around my age through growing up have bought in this year. So that leaves me with 31 transactions that still have to be accounted for. I wish it was as easy as let's just have the phone here and wait for them to call. It's the odd one, you will get that, but you can't grow a business off that because you're not certain what's going to come. So a lot of my business has actually come through, actually now starting through social media and through investing. So I have done a lot of social media and Instagram through just the process of my investment properties. So I'm gaining a lot of traction with other investors because they're seeing what I'm doing, and I'm just open about it. So I'm giving out the numbers. I'm saying, hey, this is what we bought it for. This is what we put in. This is going to be our cash flow. And I think that that's really important, is being out there, being open, and people are just able to come to me now with questions about investing. And maybe it's not today or tomorrow, but maybe it's in a year from now. I'm happy to answer anyone's those questions. So that was a big one for me, is the investor side. And then other one was from open houses before COVID, because some of those take some time before they get generated, and door knocking. So what I like to do is door knock my listings. I do just sold and just listed and just sold. And I've gotten quite a few now have transacted just through that, just through following up. And I know that I'm one that I can definitely increase my follow up. I've definitely slacked in some areas, especially when you get busy, when you have listing after listing after listing. It takes a lot of your time, and you forget to do some of that. So some people fall through the cracks, which isn't good. So if you build a better database system where a lot of it is just automatic and things like that, then you're able to keep up with the follow up and also keep up with all the listings and making sure you're doing everything on that side. Yeah, and then,
Sounds like your primary though is that niche market of investors. Do you give most of your focus there?
yeah, and then a lot lately. I think about, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 of them actually were just through referrals now too. I'm getting a lot of referrals through past clients, and sometimes not even past clients. They know me through the social media, and they know me and they know I'm a hustler, so they go and chat with me, and we connect. So that was a big thing, and I think asking for the referrals is a big one for every realtor, because I've had where clients are like, "Oh, you're so busy. Like, we just didn't want to make you more busy." So they don't know, right? Like that's something that we have to all do, is ask for the referral for sure.
And I love that you said that, right? I mean, it's like we're almost afraid to do it, and we work with these people and then we don't say, hey, who else do you know that I can help? And they think, well, you're too busy. You're doing 35
Yeah,
deals a year. You don't have
yeah,
time to help my cousin or my sister or my brother. We'll
yeah,
let them go work with somebody else.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely interesting how your clients, and then it's not their fault at all, right? They see what you're doing and they think you're super busy and that you don't need the deal, so you just have to always ask for it, so they know that they can come to you and get their friends and their family or the people they go to work with to use you.
One of my favorite lines around that was always, hey, in a weak moment, I wouldn't want someone to pick a weak agent. So can I count on you to refer me, right? And
Yeah,
people would always laugh and we'd have a chuckle out of it. But then they'd always think about sending over those referrals. But
yeah,
you're creating wealth for people. And I think when you focus on things like making others wealthy, it seems as though obviously it's going to help you become wealthy as well.
yeah.
Where are you finding your investors? Are they mostly coming from those social media posts where you're explaining your strategies?
Yeah, social media, and then also sometimes I go on listing appointments or just appointments, and like I've told some sellers already this year, I could have had a listing, but I was like, but have you thought of keeping this? You've still built so much equity in this home. It's a perfect little rental property, and they've ended up keeping it, and uh, I just got a long term client because I just helped them build their wealth, and they trust me, right? Sometimes selling isn't the way to go, right? Or maybe it's not selling right now. And just think through other investors. So I have one investor client just transacted twice now in 1 month, and then they referred me to another one, and it's just kind of like a snowball effect, right? Because a lot of people are excited when they buy their first investment property. They tell everyone, they tell the people at work, their friends, their family, and I can almost guarantee you, like a lot of people think, yes, like I've thought about real estate investing. It's just something that everyone thinks of because they see how much a lot of people have done it and have built wealth. They're like, oh, let's do it, but they never do that next action. So when they see their friend or the family doing it, then they might take the next step and contact me or contact someone to
Right.
help invest. Yeah.
Well, and so, I love that you said that, Emily, because how many of us are giving away business, right? Like
Yeah.
you're consulting with them. So you're not coming
Yeah.
in as a salesperson looking to sell every single time. You're
Yeah.
actually putting the client first. It's a very, very good approach.
Well, I think that like I don't think I would feel very good with myself if I knew I was selling a home that I didn't even mention. Because some will say, no, I'm not going to be a good landlord. I never will be. And it's not for everyone. Don't get me wrong. It's not for everyone. But if you put the idea and they maybe go through it with the bank and see, hey, I can take up to 80% out of my home currently, still buy my next dream home and keep this one. You're going to be 1,000 steps ahead if you do this. So that's another one. And another answer or question I always kind of ask is, and I think I got this actually from you from the business planning too. It's kind of very similar. Is asking them what their goals are for when they retire. If you ask them, I want to buy a place in Costa Rica, or I want to be 45 and not have to go to work every single day. And you can figure out what they want, and maybe you can say, well, can I help you with that? Can I maybe make it 5 years sooner? Right? I have something that I can help you with, and that's real estate investing. And when you go from, like you say, contribution and helping people and making sure that you're looking at their best interests, for example, like the investing, they're gonna use you, they're gonna trust you, and they're gonna come to you every time for advice. And as myself as an investor, they see what I'm doing, and I tell them the numbers. This is what I've done. This is what my real estate um, like buildings, properties are worth.
You're helping them retire. You're helping them, create
Yeah,
financial freedom. You're helping
yeah,
them change their life. You're helping them build wealth. I mean, why wouldn't they want to come back
yeah,
to you? Right? I
exactly,
mean,
exactly.
you'd have to really, really sort of screw that up in order to not keep clients for life once you've done that, right?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's fun. It's fun helping them buy an investment property. It's fun helping them look at the numbers and seeing, oh, okay, if I do this, like in 5 years when I want to retire, or in 10 years when I want to retire, this home's going to be worth X potentially, but my income is my rental income is this. I can live off just a rental income, or I can sell the property in 10 years, take out the cash that I just made, and have a great vacation.
When I love hearing, I always hear agents say, real estate's not fun, right? Lead gen's not fun. Of course it's not fun. No one wants to pick up the phone for 3 hours a day every
Yeah.
single day, right? But what's fun is what you're doing, right? When you're seeing that smile on their face, or when you're helping them get that first investment, or when they're sending you referrals, that's where the fun sort of kicks in. But I mean, you're also not, are you only helping people, you're also an investor yourself, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, what is that portfolio worth? I heard you mention that a few minutes ago. Where are you at today?
Yeah, so we have 10 doors. So 10 rentals with a total of 5 properties. So we have 1 condo, a house, 2 duplexes, and then we just purchased a fourplex. So in all those, like I've about like 1.5 million in mortgages right now on those investment properties, but the net, or like what those are worth at a sale today, is at least 3 million. So, and that's just over a few years. Like I said, I did buy the first one in 2015, but I bought the last four and about the last 4, sorry, in the last 2 years. So you can build up your momentum. You can connect with people. I've done these ones solely by myself and with my partner Brody.
Right.
But joint venture. I have a client right now. They teamed up. They're hoping to buy like a duplex or something they convert into a duplex. Just 2 friends that have known each other for a very long time, and they're going to buy a place together. So there's always a way to do it. Maybe it's getting a family involved, or getting a more of a higher interest loan, or a private loan. There's definitely ways to make sure that you're able to do it. There's countless ways.
So in 5 years, your net worth is over 3 million. Is that right?
Yeah, close to, yeah.
And then you're still hustling every single day and doing 350, 360K in GCI.
Yeah.
Where are we going to see you next? Like, what's that going to look like? What's the plan for next year?
Yeah, so my plan initially was 500,000 in GCI, 50 units. But I know that if I do 50 units, I'm going to be well over the 500 GCI. And we've kind of, like with yourself in the business planning, we've kind of gone down to the nitty gritty on how am I going to get there? Because you said, like, real estate, it's simple, but it's just not easy, right? So I've broken it down. With like conversion rates, I need to go on 85 appointments. 85 appointments. Let's say if I only work 40 weeks, that's 2 appointments a week that I need to go on in order to get 2 appointments a week. That's 200 contacts. To get 200 contacts, it's about 10 hours of lead gen a week that I need to do. So that's kind of the breaking it down and how I'm going to get there. Once I do get there, I know it's going to be great. And I'm also looking to hire them in, and then also potentially a showing agent for 2021.
I love that you have so much clarity around it. And you're right. We picked through some of this in business planning, but I mean, you spent the time and kind of really, really nailed it. My favorite part about when I hear this is if I do 10 hours of lead gen a week, I make over $500,000 next year.
Yeah, exactly. And that's once I start, like the big thing with like the MRI is like leverage, use leverage. If I focus on that and then focus on the listings, the buyers will come as well. But the admin can do all the other back end stuff, for example, social media and things like that. So if I can do that, then I can focus more on my clients, have more time to do that, and then also have more time to help more clients, which I think is the great thing. Because like you mentioned, we don't want someone to have a weak agent. There's lots of agents out there, and for all I know, I am the best realtor. So come to me.
You believe that, right? Like, and that's kind of part of the problem is you believe you're the best realtor to help them, so you're going to give that back to your clients.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will say, I don't want to build a team.
Yeah.
And I know we've even had that conversation at times, right? And now you're saying admin and buyer agent and possible showing agent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you're leaning into the leverage side of stuff. So what are you going to do with all that extra time?
What am I going to do? Oh, okay. What I'm going to do is probably start, focus a lot more on investing in real estate in itself, build my portfolio, because I love to do that, and focus on that. And then also, whenever COVID's done, travel. I love to travel and spend time doing that. So being able to maybe take off 3 months of the year would be an absolute pleasure. And then also helping others. So I love to mentor and help other agents, and also help people trying to get to investing in real estate. You see some people like Dylan there. He's built a massive empire, right? Like there's always ways you can do it. You just have to have your goals in place and set them high. I don't think I've set my goals high enough, but I also know kind of what I want to do and go from there, because I know that I have kind of a little bit of issue where I love real estate too much, so I live it, I breathe it, I work in it, I do everything. So sometimes I have to make sure to step back. And even with you, we chatted that Sundays are my days off because I need that. I need that, or my family needs it, my friends need it. I need it to just recoup so the next week.
And you earned it, right? You earned it, right?
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
week you're putting in your 10 hours of lead gen, you're selling multiple houses, you're doing what you needed to. So you got to kind of remember to take some time back for yourself. And as realtors, we don't always get that.
no,
People think we're on all day and all night and everything else. And what's different is something you said earlier, where you said, I'm building a business. Well,
yeah,
I don't know the last time I was able to walk into a Starbucks at 11 at night and say, hey, I want a latte. They're gonna laugh me out of the store. Actually, they're gonna be closed because I'm gonna function
yeah,
at their hours. And
yeah,
really, what you're doing is you're just kind of setting and defining your hours.
yeah.
I gotta say, 3 months off every single year just to travel. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. How are you gonna do that? What do you need to see in order to make that happen?
And so that's the big reason why I have, because originally I kind of was like about the whole team. I don't know if I feel like that's kind of the route I want to go, but my route is kind of changing and it's always evolving, because I, I want to travel, or maybe I want to take 6 months off of actually focusing on real estate and focusing on something else. That's 99.99% of the time probably going to be related to real estate, but I want to have that ability to, and that's when you have a team, because I don't want to let my clients down. I don't want to let potential clients down. I wanted them to still have the full service. And so that's how you can do it, with leverage, building a team, and going from there. And that's also how you can grow your business and do more transactions without burning out, right? I don't want to burn out.
And you're doing that other part of that big why, where you're creating those opportunities for others, right? I mean, if you've
Yeah,
got an agent, we know the average real estate agent does less than 7 deals a year, which is
yeah,
mind blowing. I think that number with COVID is actually down. And this is not fact, so for anyone listening, don't call me and text me and tell me. I don't know, but I believe what I'm hearing right now is we're seeing that number come down to about five transactions a year is the average.
yeah,
And so someone in an organization like the one you're building, where you're doing 50 plus ends, you got to imagine that they're going to see over 20 transactions to be in your organization. And you've effectively changed someone's world. They've gone from doing 5 deals a year, making less than 50,000 once the government gets their hands in there, to
yeah.
now making 6 figures. We never talk about taxes, right? There's
I
all
know, right? It's
these
just like
big
a thing
numbers.
in the closet that you don't talk about. Yeah, that takes all your money.
Well, and it's just reality. I mean, they gave us the prec. It's okay. It's not a very great system for
Oh,
leveraging, unless you're doing stuff with that money. But you can get creative there. But most realtors are starving. They're making less than $50,000 a year, and you're creating opportunity for them.
yeah,
And in creating that, you're also creating time for yourself. I
yeah,
heard something you said earlier, and I've been meaning to come back to this. You mentioned, I want to retire soon.
yeah. Yeah. So I
Soon.
I wish there was a different word. Like maybe there is, but I like to. I'm a go getter. I'm driven, and I want to have the time to be able to do and help others if I need to or want to. But by the time I'm 30, I hope to have like full control of my whole schedule and what I want to do all the time. Because like you said, there's stuff that in this business that you have to do that sucks, but that's just how it is. 99% of the stuff is fun and it's awesome. But you always have that nitty gritty stuff that no realtor really likes. So that's kind of the big thing is I want to be able to do what I want to do and get up and do everything when it comes to like real estate investing, or maybe even helping and coaching other realtors, or helping investors and coaching other investors on how to help others and build that wealth. Because I think that that's the big thing that we need to teach a lot of people, and especially with how like our economy is going here. I don't know in other places, but here in Waterloo region, it's going well. It's going great. We've got high rents. We've got still in relative cheap home prices. Like you can still make some money, and so it's just quite a safe investment. So that's kind of what I mean by retire. I don't mean like I'm going to be sitting on the beach 365 days a year, which I would love, but maybe it's 6 months traveling the world and 6 months here helping out others.
That's cool. That's so incredible. I mean, I don't know, guys, if you're listening to this right now, like talk about thinking bigger. By the time I'm 30, what is that? 7 years to
7 years,
go?
7 more years.
So in 7 years, I'm going to sit on a beach for 6 months of the year while what are you going to be earning? Let's go there. What are you going to
Yeah.
make?
So with my rental properties, I'm hoping to be around the 50K just a month, just income coming in. So I'm still making a lot of money, and then also my investment properties have just grown wealthy, like grown in appreciation. And then my real estate, that is kind of a little bit in the air because I don't know how big I want to grow my team and how I want to do that. But it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be mega for
That's
sure.
cool. You have the team name picked out yet?
Not yet. So if anyone has ideas, I can't do my last name. It's too long. No one ever knows how to spell it. So that's not going to be. I love having something that's more team oriented. So not having just like a last name. That's just my personal preference. I like for example, you guys have Compass. It's everyone's involved. It's not like you're branding just Andre. Everyone can advertise the brand and grow with the brand.
We're seeing teams go in that direction, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think old traditional real estate, it was like, the guy, and the guy's
Yeah.
on the sign and on the bus and on the bench, and it's the guy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't give you any leverage, right? If your
No.
name's always there, you're always on. You can't go
Yeah.
in 6 months if you're the guy
Exactly.
on the bus.
Yeah. I want the guy on the bus, not this guy. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right, right?
Exactly. So
Whereas going a different direction gives you that flexibility where you can sort of say, hey, if it's not Emily and somebody else shows up, they don't know that person's not the team leader. They have no idea.
they have no idea, and I think that's great because I think building a team. I hope, or when I grow my team, it's going to be everyone's kind of going to be there equal, and I hope that everyone makes around the same, like all together. I don't want to have like I'm making this and then all people are down here. I don't think that that's fair, and that's not gonna give incentives to those people to stay on the team or do better, right? We can all grow together and all make a lot of money, so we can all buy lots of investment properties and then help other people. It's just gonna be a big thing it's gonna be a ripple effect, right? Because if I can help and teach other realtors to do the same thing I'm doing, we're gonna in the end help the community out and build wealth for future generations.
So you're looking at your team, even that's a little bit different, right? Like you're not looking at a team to just go sell 400 houses. You're looking at a team for how I can change the realtors in my world's lives
Yeah.
by investing in real estate. Wow.
Yeah, so I'll be I'm going to be very picky with who's going to be on my team, and I guess, and they also have to deal with me. I'm not ask Brody. I'm not the easiest person to deal with. I'm a high D, so they're going to wanna have to or wanna work with me too. So I think that's important.
Did you say ask Brody? Did I just hear an
Yeah.
ask?
So
I love it.
yeah, so for anyone else, Brody's my partner, so he lives with me, and obviously he sees my need 24/7, so he knows that sometimes it can be difficult and
You know,
stuff.
it's funny you say that because that's not the first time I've heard you say that. Like we've joked around before, and you're like, just ask Brody, he'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you're so transparent to who you are, and I love that, right? Like
Yeah.
you're not making apologies for it. Like I'm a high D, I'm gonna be driven, I'm gonna be passionate,
Mhm.
and you're gonna have to put up with me if you want to be in my world.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna make you wealthy. I'm gonna teach you how to invest. Like, it's a
yeah,
pretty good trade-off.
yeah, exactly. That's what I think, and I'm a pretty cool person. I think I'm a hoot.
Toot that horn.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. I would agree. I'm gonna give you a shout out there as well. Emily is cool. You want to hang out with her. You want to talk to her. For anyone
Yeah.
listening, reach out to
Yeah.
her. That's awesome. So, when you look at this plan, 50K a month by the time you're 30, and then you want to do that with the people around you as well. I hear realtors all the time, and I mentioned it earlier. Most realtors don't even own the home they're living You know,
which
there's a
is,
lot of realtors still renting. There's a lot of realtors not getting there. How can a realtor sort of do what you're doing? I mean, you're 23, you're investing, you're 3 million plus in net worth. And I heard you say you're not always doing it with your money. So what are some of those strategies?
yeah. So are you talking like the investing side more or the real estate?
Yeah,
Yes.
on the investment side.
Yeah, so I have this bug in my ear from when I listen to Jeff Reitzel's. Once a month, he does this millionaire or like a millionaire real estate investor, I think, or what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. But we went there, and he said, "There's always a way. You can make it work, and it's how driven and how determined you are to make it work, and you will achieve it." So there's ways. So for example, the first, like the ones that we have purchased, we've just put the 20% down, done it, and then now like we did one refinancing. But for the next ones, we're going to do a few refinancing, but then also now going to start maybe potentially looking into JV, so joint venturing, with like-minded people, because that's how we can together build more wealth and do it. Because by yourself, there's going to be a cap at how many you can do, right? And it's going to be slow. But if you have a few of you that have the same goals, you can build it up that much faster. And you also have the leverage in the people, right? Everyone has different contacts, everyone has different abilities, and different financial abilities. So when you can do that, and that might be something for 2021 and 2022, then we look forward that we might still, Brody and I might be looking elsewhere and trying to find how we can grow even more, and also how we can grow with other people, because that's a big thing, and that's kind of how you get to the 100
The
units,
next
right?
level.
The next level, right? Owning 5 unit, 10 doors is great, and it's gonna be busy, but how do you get to the next step? You gotta break through the ceiling and go to the next steps.
When in most banks, I think it's around that five unit mark that they
Yeah,
say to you, we don't want to fund you anymore, right?
exactly. So I mean, I have a great guy that's like, oh no, we get you a few more, don't worry. But I'm not banking on that yet. I'm just gonna keep going. I always tell them, hey, I found a good deal. Like, can I get? Well, will you approve me for 500,000, or will you approve me for 7?
Not only is Emily cool, Emily's got a guy.
I got a guy, right? And he was actually, so our first one Brody and I bought together was a duplex. It was going to be a duplex conversion. It was an exclusive listing with actually a realtor in our brokerage. This was in 2018.
Right.
And we had we bought the house and we just did it. We didn't have anything really organized. We found this place. We've been looking a little bit, but this was a perfect opportunity for us. It was a great price. It needed lots of work. We loved the location. It was like, okay, we're just going to do it. Didn't have our financing organized. And I had just started real estate, and Brody had just started his company. So we were two self-employed people. We had the 20%, we had over 20% down, like no problem. But it was the fact that like I was new, Brody was new, and they're like, you're self-employed and you just started this year. Like, are you kidding me? Right? So we had talked to, oh my goodness, 10 mortgage brokers, agent, like everything. And we got these like, we had a backup plan for this private lending, which was a horrible deal. It was like 3 months interest payments only, and it would have been like 10 grand a month in interest. But we're like, whatever. It was a good, like, we had to, like, we're getting this property. And then the day before we had to tell the lawyer who we're using. Brody's mom heard on the radio this guy named Dan Simpson, and he's like, you guys should call this guy. So we call him. He gets a mortgage with RBC 3.5% or 3.6%. Boom, we were super happy. This was the day before, like, it was just like a week before closing. So it was stressful, but we got it done. So
get it done, Dan. That should be his slogan.
I know, right? Yeah. So he has been my mortgage broker since, because I mean, I just tell him, hey, with this, I could probably shop around and get better rates. But to me, he does his job. He does it really well, and I can't complain about that. So I trust him. So he gets my business.
So how are you? I mean, we always hear, it's hard for realtors to buy stuff, right? You need 2 years of history, and it's not.
No, it's not. That's just that's a drunk monkey on your shoulder saying you can't. You just need to talk. Just talk. And I learned this actually from Jeff Reitzel. Is like, tell people you are a real estate investor, because you never know who you're going to meet. Maybe you're going to meet another fellow investor, or maybe you're going to meet someone that can lend you money, or maybe you're going to meet someone that wants to sell their house that you can buy off market, right? Like, always tell people, yes, I'm a real estate investor. I will buy your house if you want to sell, or I will partner with you if this is a good partnership. So always tell it, and yes, you can do it.
So
You can do
letting
it.
everybody know that you're an investor all the time. And if I'm not mistaken, we've got Jeff coming up eventually on the show as well. He is booked, but I think he also lucked out and kind of found that whale. Have you found yours yet? That big investor that just wants to keep buying properties with you?
I have a few that are starting. So I had one. I actually met them. This is an interesting story too. They're awesome people. We're actually now great friends. I met them off Kijiji. I bought their outdoor sectional from them. I love Kijiji. I bought their outdoor sectional and was talking to this lady for like an hour, just chatting about life. They had their house for sale at the time. And we were just talking, and I was like, oh, I'm just blah, blah. And they're like, oh, yeah, like, we had investment properties, nightmare tenants, we had cockroaches. Like, it was just disgusting. We'll never kind of invest and whatnot. And we just, like, we clicked. And so we started talking and chatting, and then we kind of hung out. And they just bought 2 investment properties 2 months ago, and they're not stopping. They kind of have a different mindset now. And I'm helping them able to kind of, when the time comes, find the tenants. They assume some tenants on a duplex, and now they're doing a duplex conversion at the moment. So they're building their wealth, and they're gonna be wealthy through investing in real estate, and they see it.
When you changed their world, right? They didn't want to go back there, and you gave them
yeah.
come
And
back.
now they're the eager beavers. I love it, because whenever I see them, we're talking about real estate. They are such go-getters as well. Driven. I'm actually her name's Sabrina. I wanted her to get into real estate because she'd be perfect. She's got the amazing personality and the drive as well. And so
it's funny, because you never know who's going to be an investor or who's going to show up and to be successful in real estate. You don't even really remember our first meeting. I tell you about it all the time.
I met you. It was a house. I don't know what house it was. It was you. I've never met you. Yeah. It was at a showing.
Was that a showing? Yeah, you were the agent showing before me. I was showing right after you. This was a few years ago, and I still remember coming back and team leader at the time saying to them, "You want to reach out to this girl because she's gonna be something special." And I don't even know what it was at that time. I had no idea who you were, your age, none of that stuff. Like, find it out all after, but you knew your shit.
Yeah.
You did. Like, I'm listening to you talk, and I'm like, clearly you're new. Like, I've been doing this at the time, 9 years, never met you before. I'm like, she's got to be new. Got to be new on the scene. I kind of looked you up, and it was like, I think you were like your second month in.
Yeah.
But you knew what you were talking about. And as you were talking to that client, I think we were both looking at it as a duplex opportunity. And you were advising your client on what they could do with the property and what they couldn't do. And I remember sitting there just listening, going, can't do that, can't do that.
If I recall, I think you stole my business card too there.
I did steal your business card. And I took it in, and I gave it to the team leader and said, like, someone needs to talk to Emily. Like, she's gotta be with KW. She's a big thinker. She's thinking the way we want to think. And here we are, 2 years later, and you're in the you're in the top 1 to 2% of all realtors in Canada at your production level, which is incredible. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
For everyone listening, like, stop making those assumptions, right? Get that drunk monkey off your shoulder. If you want to have a really successful career, do the hard work, and then look at your alternatives, right? Investing and all the things that you can do. And I love it. This has been such a treat.
It's so like I broke it down. It's 2 appointments a week. So 10 hours of lead generation a week. So whether that's doing Facebook ads and connecting with those people, talking to your database, because there's always, like, if you have a database. So for me, if I had 2,800 people in my database, right now I would get my 85 appointments for the year for 2021, which would give me the $500,000 in GCI. So you break it down, and maybe your numbers and your conversions are a little bit different, but this is like simple math. It's you break it down. You, like, if you haven't read this book yet, read this. It's awesome. It's simple. It's just not easy. You just have to put the work in, and once you get the ball and the momentum rolling, it becomes a lot easier, and it's exciting. Like, I did my, like, when I did my first like lead from door knocking, because I just kept up with them, it was like, wow, this actually works. Right? A lot of people, I think, give up, right? Because it's not something that you're going to get the return like that. It might be a year from now, or it might be 6 months, or you might get lucky and it's like a deal that happens in a month. You don't know who you're going to door knock on. Same with Facebook leads. That's a big one that I'm going to be working on in 2021.
Well,
Is
it's
the
funny, you say that, and I don't mean to stop you, but I was talking to a brand new agent the other day, and she's going to be a rock star. She's going to be on this show someday as well, and she's brand new in a different city, and she said to some agents in her company, you know, this area, I think I should go door knock. Now, she used to be a recruiter. She used to do a ton of other stuff, and she thought, you know, I'm not scared of people. I'm just going to go find the people. And everyone in her company said, don't you dare knock on a door. And it had nothing to do with the pandemic. It had nothing to do with any of that stuff. It literally just had to do with their fear and telling her it doesn't work. And so she kind of called me and said, am I wrong here? And I'm like, no, you're completely right. They're
yeah.
all wrong. Get to the doors ASAP. And she's going to actually take a lot of their business because none of them are calling and following up, or even have a database. It's incredible.
That's the big thing, is like, I just do my just listed and just sold. Like, you're going to get that person that's pissed off that you just knocked on their door and maybe disturbed their nap or their dinner, or just, I don't know, they're just grumpy that day. Don't know what's going on. But 99% of the time, when I do my just listen, I'm giving them contribution. It's a value add. It's something that they're gonna want to know. Like, I love knowing what my neighbor's house sold for. And I even invite them to the open house because I want them to be there, because that's another point of contact with them. They'll see what I'm doing. But it's also great for my sellers, because now my open house, maybe instead of having 10 people, has 30, and people are like, wow, this house is popular. I need this house. I want this house. I need to offer the most I need to get this house, the most I need. So it's a win-win-win. And then when you meet them finally for the just sold, you met them 3 times. You can be like, hey, what's going on, Andre? Like, you're like friends now. Yeah. So you can have that in-depth conversation. And maybe it's not like they're going to sell it because they just moved, or they're like, no, we're staying here put for 20 years. Like, we're not moving. They're like, okay, great. You've owned your house for 3 years. Market has gone up 20, 30%, depending on where you are and what you have. Have you ever thought about taking some money out, refinancing, and buying an investment property? Right? Is that something you'd be interested in?
Wow.
You never know.
Love it.
So that's always something that's has kind of been working. And when you finally get that one that's closed after like a year of like going on after, right? It's a great relief. And I'm keeping those clients. I took them from some other agent. They said, hey, just to let you know, we do have an agent, but you followed up with us. We're going to use you.
Money's in the follow-up. I love that.
Yeah. So.
Well, guys, Emily, how do we get a hold of you, right? I mean, we got a lot of people listening. They're going to wonder, reach out via text.
Yeah.
What's the best way for people to find you and to contact you?
Yeah, for sure. You can look me up on social media, Instagram. So just my name, Emily, and then Schuurmans. Other thing, my phone number, it's 226-989-2967. Feel free to text me or call me. Happy to chat with you. Even if you're a new agent, seasoned agent, I love talking about real estate. Once this pandemic is over, or when we're out of the red zone, love to go for coffee with you, because I always like to learn from other agents. Everyone can offer something, and helping out others and becoming a better agent, becoming a better person, and becoming maybe an investor for the first time, or buying the first house. If I could be a part of that, I would love it. I would love that. So contact me. Don't feel nervous. Don't feel scared. I am a hoot. I'm a great person, and I'm not intimidating.
That's awesome. Guys, reach out to Emily. Like, she's cool. She's got people. She's on social media. She's a great person. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, Emily. You are a great person. Guys, you want to get to know Emily and learn more about investing, this is one of the people to do it with. Thank you so much, Emily. This has been the Real Estate Hustle Podcast. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on all social media outlets. My name is Andre Chen, and today we had Emily Schuurmans. So thanks, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.